Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. Guys, I want to tell you, before I get into this video today, I want you to understand that I don't really believe in predestination. And I want to clarify how, because like people determine predestination in a couple different definitions. And I want you to understand that what I'm saying is people's choice by free will would be replicated over and over again. So therefore, even though it sounds like predestination, the end result will always be the same, right? Now, let me break down today what I want to say. I believe, and there's few things in life that at this point that I say that people can believe, but you can't actually just demonstrate it right out the gate. This is something I believe, but I can't really demonstrate it. You've just got to follow with me and look at it in your own life. And secondly, I want to show you the Most High Y'all showed me something the other day with this, okay? And my wife's a witness to that as well, but I'll get in that in a minute. I believe this. Scripture talks about that those written in the Lamb's Book, life slain from the foundation of the world, okay? Well, if you look at that in that context, then, pretty much the end was known from the beginning, right? Just like I've said before, you take a 2x4, you're going to build a house. The 2x4 is 8 foot long. You need to cut it down 6 foot to support the header on a door. Okay, 2 foot was going to get cut off that 2x4 when I ordered it. I knew it was 8 foot long, but I was going to cut 2 foot off. It was gone from the get-go, all right? But I knew that was going to just how it was fall. Okay, well, the same thing is with humanity. I believe that, there's people that was doomed from the beginning. I hate to say that, and this goes for Hebrew and Gentile, okay? There's some people that's not going to make it in the kingdom of all walks. So just scratch that one up on the wall too. But the thing is you take somebody that's like a drug addict, right? That drug addict, you take them, you try to clean them out. A lot of times, sadly, they'll go right back to the drug, right? And this is repeated over and over again. So you look at people that reject the kingdom of Yah. If you gave them 100 tries, they would still reject the kingdom of Yah. I'll give you another example. I've been trying to inquire with people lately about taking the poke. Not that I want to take the poke, but people that took the poke, I'm like, why did you do that? Well, it was for the safety of my family, or it was for my job. I'm like, you chose your job over Yah? I'm like, listen, folks, look at this guy. I got issues in my life, okay? Like, in my younger self, I loved the flesh. Y'all follow with what I'm saying? Like, we all have our sins, right? Some people it's gambling. Some people it was drinking or smoking or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But everybody had that little pet sin. Don't y'all come in here and lie about that. But long and short of it, the good people will always make a choice to do right. And my wife pointed this out. It's like, that's like if you have the opportunity to go back, you'd obviously do things differently. And you talk to good people, and they'll say, yeah, I wish that even though I'm trying to do the right thing, I wish I could go back, fix X, Y, and Z. And so that tells you, too, that if you look at people's character and their nature, what I've noticed is once considered, always considered. I've taught this to my son from the time he was a little person up to an adult. I tell this to everyone I know. I stand firm on it, is if somebody will do you wrong today, they'll do you wrong tomorrow and forevermore. People can change, but it's rare. And I believe that people that do change was destined to change. Most of the time, people are defined by their situation. Okay, if you live in the hood and you're getting rounds popped at you every day, you might grow up to be a gang-banging drug dealer, right? But now, in reality, if I took that same person and put them in a place where that they could really succeed, they might go to Harvard and become a doctor or a lawyer, right? So, a lot of times the environment molds a person. But if you remove that person out of that environment, they can adjust. So, see, I think that's where people can change. But a lot of people, it doesn't matter if you give them multiple environments, they would still make the ultimate decision to not do the right thing. Now, I know that's a hard pill for people to swallow, but I've tried to express this to people lately. I'm like, please always try to put yourself in other people's shoes. That judge not, lest ye be judged thing, I'm really trying to put myself in other people's shoes anymore. And I'm like, how did you arrive at that? I go on to say all this because I also believe that fate is inevitable for all of us. Like, I don't know if I'm to go to a FEMA camp one day and face the guillotine for the truth of the kingdom. I don't know if I'm going to get lined up and shot in the firing squad for being rebellious and fighting the New World Order and not taking the poke and the mark of the beast and all that other good stuff. I don't know. What I do know is this, that I feel that as the New World Order, I said recently, is moving chess pieces, I feel that the Most High Yah has moved chess pieces across the board as well, and continues to move them. I went, and the other day I really didn't know where I was going to go take my wife for dinner, and I wanted to let her choose, and I was going to take her to a Mexican restaurant. We ended up going to Longhorn. Well, then it was going to be an hour wait, so we went shopping at TJ Maxx in the town next to where we live. And it just so happened while we were waiting it out, I met somebody who had just found my channel. Shout out to Donna. And she had just started looking at some of the truths and things that, was out there. And I had shared some content too, a Torah believer. And she stopped me in the store and was like, "Are you Lucas, 7 Trumpets Prepper?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so we have this long conversation. Beautiful, good conversation. I look forward to fellowshipping in the future. Great that I'm meeting people local. Even more people local that believe in my area. But the thing is that was so wild to me. I had no intention of being there at that time, at that place, but yet there I was, and I crossed paths with somebody that loved Most High Yah. That's a beautiful thing. But at the end of it all, and it was a great interaction for me and my wife. It was just wonderful. I enjoyed the conversation, the fellowship. But what is wild to me is there are situations that you end up in life, and you ask yourself, how in the world did I end up here? And they can be great, and some of them can be bad and good come out of it. But this journey, it's different for all of us. But what is interesting to me is how, as I continue to cross paths with people that believe, they all seem to be ending up at the same belief system, the same conclusions, and the Most High brought them there through the set-apart spirit. It wasn't like, I feel like we're getting to that point where, that they say to know Yah, but all shall know Yah, right? Like, I really feel like we're arriving at that day and hour. And this whole thing with the poke, I guess this is the last thing I'm going to say on this, and I hope I've said something to be helpful to you today, because this is just some things that's went through my mind today in my journeys, and spending time with my wife as well, is that something that's occurred to me. And I know I talk about the poke a lot, and I'm going to be honest with you, I ain't going to shut up about it until they put me down, all right? Because we need to be a warning out there to people, is that I'm really starting to see the true natures and characters of people come forward, because it's so easy for us every day to go to our workplace. It's so easy for us to go to church with people. It's so easiest to go and hang out and have friends, but not really know them. But one thing that's brought things forward to me is that this mandate thing, and forcing people, or trying their best to force people, but at the same time not exactly against your will, but just force you into a corner where that you either cave in, is how quickly people gave up their sovereignty of a human being. Like, I'm getting a shirt made that says proudly UnVAXXED, pure blood, and I'm going to wear that with pride. And I'm sure it's going to animate people. I'm sure it's going to tick some people off. But I am to the point where that I'm looking at things for exactly what it is. And you can see clearly now, just with this one instance in humanity right now, that people had a chance to protect their DNA and not let it be changed. And now they're modified, never to be able to come back to what they originally was. And they made the conscious choice to do that. Nobody held a gun to their head. Sure, lose a job. Dude, folks, I've lost a lot of jobs. They sucked. You'll get another one, all right? You lose your house, you can get another one. I lost a house before. I mean, listen, y'all ain't going to get these arguments with me. I've lost everything once already, pretty much. So you can't do that with Luke. Like, I mean, I've slept on other friends' floors and couches. I mean, like, I've just been down the ringer. So, like, this stuff is just like an iron wall to me anymore. You ain't going to get there with me. Oh, well, lose Israel. Just turn the waterworks off. I ain't listening. The thing is that if you made that choice, and I'm speaking to you, the poked, okay? If you made that choice, the choices you will continue to make is going to astonish people around you. Just hold to my words. Because I will say this, and I'm going to wrap this video up, is everybody that I've looked around and I've seen them make that choice, it astonished me. it continues to astonish me, because it wasn't just pagans. It was people that said they loved Yah. I mean, this is people that said they loved Yah. Let me reiterate that. And then they went and done this act. And that showed me right then and there that we live in a world of lip service, and we live in a world of fake book. You know, when people meet me, they meet the guy that you talk to on YouTube. Like, this is Luke. This is me every day. Okay. You know, and it's a mind-boggling where we have arrived at. And I'm telling you, those that have not given in to all the BS garbage that's going on right now, the ish that I said that one video recently, you stand your ground firm, and you watch in the next year or two as bodies start stacking, as more crap starts rolling down the hill, as more pressure is applied, you're going to see the cream of the crop rise to the top. And you're going to see the people that actually stood firm and said, I believe in Yah, I believe in keeping the commandments, I believe in Torah, I believe in Messiah's blood offering for our salvation and forgiveness of sins, and I'm not doing X, Y, and Z, I'm standing firm with the word. And you watch the people that you thought were crazy, the people that you said, man, they're just a bunch of religious fanatics, they're just a bunch of hardcore preppers. You watch these people. The Noah's Ark 2.0 days are coming, folks. And it is at the threshold. So, guys, always till we see you again here, 7 Trumps Prepper channel. I'm going to go home, have a good afternoon with my wife. Love y'all. Hope Most High Yah Baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends, in these dark days. I pray in Yahushua's name.